Hello, this is Beth, and we are here with the Froud's Fairy Oracle. Card number 15, the Journeyman. And this card has a bit of the fool aspect to it. It has a bit of that going off and learning things and being very joyful about it. But not quite, but it's not quite the same. It has that certain elan and joy to it. But it's not quite as carefree in a way. It's not necessarily the fool. This is someone who has been an apprentice and has worked hard to get where they're at, and now they're ready to set out on their own. They have a lot of skills, they have a lot of knowledge really at this point in time, but they haven't really used it. And Angus is on his way to go put everything he knows to use right now. He's just setting off. It's kind of like, when you move out of the house for the first time and you're like, yeah, baby. It's kind of that energy. You're out on your own. You got all the stuff you think you know. And considering, he's been an apprentice, he does know a lot. But it's all kind of theory. It's all up in his head. He hasn't really had time to put the polish on his skills, as it were. So that's what the Journeyman is really about, is taking all this stuff you've learned and starting to use it, as opposed to just acquiring more and more skills. And I find he pops up a lot of times with people who think they need to know more, which is interesting, instead of just putting what they know to work. I always find that kind of interesting. People are like, oh, I don't know enough. I don't know enough. I need some more information. I need more. I need more. He tends to pop up a lot for those people. And it's a sign for them to, wait a minute, back off. You've learned all this stuff, but you haven't applied any of it. What good is knowledge if you never use it? So that's a huge part of this skill, is taking those basic skills and honing them, making them yours, putting them to work for you. And he's kind of a playful card. There's this, like I said, that has that fool quality of just, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do it, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah, this is a card that doesn't self-limit. There's no, and it's kind of, actually, if you're kind of blocking this card and saying, I can't do this, I don't know enough, that's where you start to really block this card, is really in many ways self-limiting your own behavior. Oh, I don't know enough, I can't do this. Oh, what if I'm not good enough? What if you are? What if it's wonderful? But if you never try, if you never put all your skills to work, you're never going to know. And that's what Angus is the Journeyman is all about, getting out there, putting them to work, finding out what really works for him, what doesn't work for him. But when you fall into that trap of, oh, I can't do this, I don't know enough, and I think we all kind of fall into that trap of, just one more class, I just need to learn one more thing, I just need one more tidbit of information before I can really go carry on. Yeah, because waiting with this guy, it's not going to get you anywhere if you just sit there and wait and wait and wait. If you just sit with your skills and think about them and don't apply them, nothing ever gets done. And that goes for life and for magical creations. If you have all this magical theory floating around in your head and you never apply any of it, if you never use it, I guess then you're just armchair magician, armchair witch, armchair. And do you really want to be an armchair, would be my question. And I guess I'd say, no, you don't. You want to go out there and do it. You want to go live your life and learn new things and learn how those skills you already have apply to those new things. You learn by using those skills, because every time you start to apply something, you learn something out of that application of the process of applying it. It's, learning's kind of, at least for as I see it, is kind of something that feeds on itself. So it's like one question leads to another, and see, you're everywhere. There's here, back, and that's what putting your skills to work, learning how to apply them, can do for you. Is kind of spark off those questions, those learnings. Let's see, I'm trying to, most of the time for me, I find this really is a card of people who need to back off and not take more classes. But I read for a lot of entrepreneurs, and they tend to be very much, I need more knowledge, I need more. And things too is with the Journeyman is getting distracted. If you're one of those people who like to, oh my God, new sparkly thing over there. Oh, no. And you keep jumping around as opposed to applying those skills. That's another pitfall of this card, is being a little too everywhere, but not. There's like an everywhere that you're actually, that makes sense even though it doesn't look like it makes sense. And then there's an everywhere of like trying to do it all but nothing happens. I don't know how to explain it. It's that point where you have so many thoughts that you're just like, and you spend 2 seconds on something, and then you're on the next one, then you're on the next one. That's no good in this card. That would be, especially if you're starting to kind of distract yourself from what you truly need to do, is something that can happen with that kind of, I can't settle on anything. You're just too restless to actually apply those skills to anything that you're doing. So you just hop, and leapfrog around, as opposed to that scribble pattern of comes with true learning. But it's like, it may look random, but the scribble of life, it is what it is. And I've never had anything go in a freaking straight line other than my vehicle, and I don't even think that goes in a straight line, frankly. Does anything really straight? I don't know. I find my life is very much, you start here and you go, and August has that quality too, of that jumping around, just because when you are just learning and honing your skills, you end up having to maybe learn some new things, not necessarily like whole new skill sets, but refinements, techniques of things. It's like learning this deck. You start in one spot and you just keep going. You keep refining those skills over and over and over. And I think that's kind of a very appropriate way to metaphor. What is the word? A very appropriate way to describe this feeling is, it's learning, say, like a divination. Say, take the Froud's Faery deck. It's a very in-depth, complex system. And there's a lot of cards to learn and get to know their energies. And you don't have, like, say, a framework, whereas Tarot, you can learn the framework, the container that Tarot is, and you can step into any deck for the most part and be able to read. You may need to hone your skills and get nuances, but and that's would be an example of what the Journeyman would do. With Tarot, oh, got a new deck, I'm gonna hone my skills with it. I'm gonna hone my skills learning the Faery deck, of take that journey of getting the basic framework down and then refining it. So in the end, for me, the Journeyman really is a card of, I have all these skills that I've learned, but I need to apply them and I need to refine them. And for me, that's really the essence of that card, is going out there and doing it with a joy and happiness that is all going to work out, and it's all going to be good. I think that's it on the Journeyman today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.